Orlando, Florida, but we're not going to Disney World. We're here at the Sherwin-Williams paint manufacturing plant. They make all the Sears paints that are sold under the Easy Living label, which we're using in our project. We're going to get together with J.A. Samples, who's the plant manager here. Let's get started. All right, Jay, so this is the loading dock, the tanks. This is where all the raw materials begin the process of making the paint. But what are those raw materials?
Well, there's many raw materials, but basically the basic ingredients are your dry pigments, which are clays, silicas, titaniums, and also they are liquid products.
Now, what are the liquids? Are they mostly water?
Water is one of the ingredients, but you also have the emulsions, which allows the products to stick to the wall and adhere properly.
So what I'm hearing is that most of the solids are natural materials.
Yes.
And most of the liquids, besides water, are man-made, kind of in the chemistry lab.
Chemistry, right.
All right. So how do you figure out the batch, what you're blending, what you're putting together?
We have a formula which tells us specifically everything that goes into that to meet the customer's specifications.
And the customer specifications, for example, with Easy Living paint, they might specify that they really want a good hide,
yes,
that it really cover over a color like yours.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Now, is this a typical batch?
This is a pre-batch where the materials have been assembled, ready to move up into the manufacturing process.
And I see in the next bay over here that they're lifting up another batch.
Yes. So
that the actual mixing and all the vats and stuff are up on the second lever.
That's right. It's a mezzanine level manufacturing process.
Let's go up there.
Okay.
Okay, so this is where the real fun begins. What's happening up here?
Actually, this is the first of a two-stage process. This is where we're taking the pigment and we're dispersing it with water and chemicals.
I'm impressed by this.
Yeah, what this does, Bob, I want you to explain this to you. This really keeps our employees from having to bend over and hurt their backs. This allows them to keep it at their, so they don't have to stoop and bend a lot.
Sure.
That's one of our safety features. The next one is the fact that we have a dust collector bag handler that allows our people to dump the pigment, and whenever the pigment is finished, it exhausts out any pigment in the air and also the bag out into a compactor.
The paper bag just gets sucked right out?
It just goes right up in, shoot out into a compactor. So it eliminates a lot of the dust inside the plant.
And the liquid has already been added in there?
The liquid has already been added.
Now what's the other stage?
The other stage is our thin and shade. Let me show you that.
All right then. The second stage involves liquids, right?
That's right, liquid.
And you bring them all in on these hoses from the tanks in the back.
That is correct. We put the liquid and the dry together, and then we have our finished product ready to be tested.
You've got thousands of gallons in there, I imagine.
Oh, there's 5,000 gallons in this tank.
Now, Jay, this is like a giant chemistry project in a sense. How do you make sure that each batch is going to work?
We take it into the laboratory and get it tested, and that's our next step.
Oh, okay.
Bob, let me introduce you to Bruce Alvin, a chemist who's performing some tests.
You work here in the lab all the time, Bruce?
That's right, Bob.
So every batch that gets made, you have to make sure it tests for what exactly?
Well, I'm testing a panel here that we'll use to test for color, gloss, and hiding of this particular product. All of these specifications for this product have to be met before we release the batch to be filled.
It certainly covers, and I guess that's the color the client ordered, right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, well, I'm curious to see how you fill those 5,000 gallons into 1-gallon cans.
Okay, let's go look.
That's next. Now, where do you get the paint cans?
Paint cans come to us by truck out of Georgia. They're fed by one person, feeds both lines into our labeler, which applies labels to the empty can.
So there's glue right at this station.
Glue right here and then glue on this end.
Okay, that's pretty nifty.
Process.
And then look at how they're turned from a horizontal position into a vertical position right there like that. That is so neat. And then over here you've got
an accumulator so that you've always got a continuous feed to the filler.
All right,
you don't want it to ever run out of cans.
If anything breaks down or has to be stopped, they can accumulate on that circular area. And here's where you're actually filling it.
Actually, the products are going into the can about 40 to 60 cans a minute.
Now, the question is, 40 to 50, I mean, he can control that
He
here?
can control the speed that he puts the product in the can.
All right, so they're all being filled at the same rate,
Right.
though. And then what happens over here?
This machine is putting the lid on the can.
Dropping one at a time,
One
right
at a
perfectly
time.
in the same spot.
This closes the container.
There's a press there. I
Yes,
see.
it's a press, lid
Yeah.
press.
So that presses the lid
That's
down.
right.
And how can you assure that each and every one of these has a gallon of paint in it?
All of them is tested. We've got a check weigher that has the preset weight. If it's over or under, it gets rejected. And it has to be
I got
corrected.
you.